Hey, thank you for coming by my site, Tori Magoo 44. It is the 22nd. It's Sunday, 2015. And we're getting closer and closer to the HBO special, which is on the 29th, next Sunday night. And in the meantime, it is in the theaters in Los Angeles at the ArcLight in Hollywood. It's in San Francisco and New York that I know of. This is so exciting. And I know I've talked about it, I've made other videos about it, but they are diving in, like submerging themselves in unbelievable videos that are horrific. They really are. I mean, they're fantastic for us. They're awful for them, where they call everyone, he's a liar, she's a liar, they lied, that's not true, whatever they said, it isn't true. I this has been happening to me for years. They're like, oh, she had an affair. I'm like, really? Who'd I have an affair with? Bring them over. Oh, she spent all of her husband's money. Come on over to my house and show me where I spent. Look at this. Does that look like it's like millions of dollars? Look at my necklace. Look at my rings. Does that look like billions of dollars? Scientology, you are the liars. Let's get that straight right now. You are the liars. You've lied as long as I've been in Scientology. People have been lying to me. I bought it. I admit it. Hook, line, and sinker. And that's what happens. People get in. That's why I call it the Truman Show. You get in and you think, they're not going to lie to you. It's Scientology. It's L. Ron Hubbard. Couldn't possibly be. They wouldn't lie to you. And now they've got Tom Cruise in it and John Travolta's in it. They wouldn't lie. Really? Of course they would. First of all, they don't even know. That's why I call it the Truman Show. They have no clue of most of the stuff that the average person does know. I'll give you a few major lies that I know that the Church of Scientology and L. Ron Hubbard were involved with. Number one was the Guardian's Office. That happened, granted, a long time ago. Many of you weren't even born. But it was this creepy organization. They snuck into the federal government's office, stole things that were against Scientology, etc. Scientology finally broke into what is now Celebrity Center here in Los Angeles. It was the Manor Hotel at the time, and on the fifth floor where I lived, they had a break-in. And they broke in and they basically found all these programs. One against Paulette Cooper, Operation Freakout, where it was a step-by-step program to put her in prison. Another one was Operation Snow White, to get rid of all the bad things about Scientology. Anyway, awful. 11 people were put in prison, including Mary Sue Hubbard. Now, I knew personally from talking to the top executives in Scientology that Hubbard was a person who was basically writing these programs about the Guardian's Office. Granted, a lady in England was implementing it, and Mary Sue Hubbard. But of course he knew about it. So when they go to prison, they had a big event, and it's like, oh, we want to announce that we never knew about this. L. Ron Hubbard would never do something like that. And it's like, I remember it. And I remember thinking, they're liars. This isn't true. But it's one of those things where it's the old, a man hears what he wants to hear and disregards the rest. And so it's sort of like, okay, whatever. They canceled the Guardian's Office, opened the Office of Special Affairs, and this is only PR and legal. We don't ever do any of those bad things, that fair game. We don't do that anymore. And I believed it. I stood up in court against Margaret Singer and said, that's not true. They don't do fair game. They canceled it. Well, do they? Hell yes, they do. I'm here to tell you, absolutely. They've been fair gaming me for 14 years. They have stuff on the internet, flat out lies about me to this day. That's fair game. L. Ron Hubbard said you can lie, cheat, steal, destroy someone utterly. So if you're in Scientology and you're thinking, oh, that's not true, yes, it is. The very fact that you can't pick up a phone and you used to be my friend or anybody else's friend where you're disconnected shows you can't even apply your own creed. Someone just wrote me, he's joining the Sea Org. I said, are you kidding me? If you And he was writing how he can't talk to so-and-so and he can't do this and blah, blah, blah. I said, if someone told me before I got in Scientology, I wouldn't be able to talk to people, I couldn't do this, I couldn't read these certain books, you think I'd join? Hell no. What are you thinking of? It's like, that's not freedom. It's the opposite. It's the polar opposite of freedom. They're not truthful people. They're absolute flat out liars. So that's one lie. they go on and on and on. Move forward to in the 90s when, well, first of all, they had the finance police. That's a whole nother nightmare for the people that lived through it, which was very, very creepy and very, very weird. And if you're in Scientology, you know it. Okay, let's talk about this top secret mafia. What was the purpose of it? Bill Yachty said, we're handling the internet. They're evil people that are on there and we're handling it. We need you, Tori, to just open up an account and see if you can do it with some cash and get the password and bring it back to us. And I did. I walked in, I got it done. And Bill Yachty had a grin like as big as my house. And he said, wow, you just changed the history of the internet. And I said, how can I change the history of the internet when I don't even know what it is? But long story short, because I trusted him, I did it. And I kept opening up accounts and more accounts. Finally, I thought, wait a minute. I grew up around the mafia in Chicago. And I thought, this guy Gavino, I'd met him. And I didn't trust him at all. I'd never seen him before. And I don't like Miscavige. I don't like you at all. And I speak from experience working around you. You're a creepy, evil dude. And I thought, wait a minute, I wouldn't put it past Miscavige to hire a mafia guy to put out these critics. So I thought, I better go look on the internet. And I was terrified. I admit it. Back then, this was 2000, and Nancy Maney had basically gone crazy because of them reverse auditing her and drugging her. But I didn't know that. And of course, our dear friend Bill Yachty said, Tori, she was reading the internet. That's why that happened. So I thought, okay, I'm not reading the internet. But now, roll forward a few months, and I'm thinking, I've got to go look at what's going on. I went on ARS. What was on ARS? Baking recipes. They were spamming anything about L. Ron Hubbard so it would get all the way down to the bottom and onto the second page. And Yachty told me there's 3 goals for the internet. Distract off of any hot topic that has to do with Hubbard or the church or Miscavige. Degrade any activists that are speaking out. Divide and conquer. And the third one is just slime the area so people don't want to go there. So, of course, with this documentary, Scientology is absolute. When I left, let's just finish this. When I left, they'd say I'm nothing. I'm not nothing. I was on OT7. I helped volunteer for 20 years on and off for the Office of Special Affairs. I'm a class 5 auditor. I'm a senior sec checker trained at Flag. I know what I'm talking about. And they know it. And so when I left, they canceled my van to go to the airport. The plane was canceled. I finally got there and walked in, and the vice president came up to me and said, we know where you're going. You're not going there. Really? Well, luckily, I had some friends. Jesse Prince, Stacy Brooks, Bob Minton. And Stacy said, bring a phone. And I did. I called her, and they got me on the plane. They chased me across the country. The Tampa police got me out of the Tampa airport. And that's a whole nother story. You can go to Tori Magoo 44 and put a plus sign, escape. And I did a 10-part series about how I woke up and how I escaped out of there. But when people say they escaped, they did. I can't speak for everyone, but I know people who did. I certainly did. I barely got out of there. The Tampa police said, stand back. She has to pick. Then they had Osa on one side with a big mob of people and my 3 friends on the other side and the police in the middle. And I talked to my friends for a few minutes. And the first thing she said is, now you have to get, I was on the top level for 7 years, asking David Miscavige to let me off of it, telling him it doesn't work. Would he let me off? Hell no. They were taking my money. They didn't give a shit about me. They never helped me. He never answered me. Screw you, David Miscavige. You deserve everything you get and then some. So, no. So the first thing she says is, I can get a message to David Miscavige tonight. And I just went like this. Let's say they're over here. I went like this. I picked them. And the police escorted me out of the Tampa airport. I said, I've got some luggage. They said, don't worry. We'll get it. Go stand with the police. We'll protect you. That's a fact. Okay? They can lie all they want. But this is one person's story. There's hundreds of us out here. There's probably thousands now. I hear from people every single day. So you can wave your flag of like, oh, liar, liar, pants on fire, they're not telling the truth. Marty Rathman really wasn't at the top. Tom DeBach really wasn't at the top. Spanky Taylor's really lying. Oh, Hannah, who was she? It's like, come on. For we who've been in this game, we know these people. It's like, let's look at, who am I thinking of? Mike Rathman. Mike Rinder. Mike Rinder was the spokesperson for the Church of Scientology for many, many years. And it's in the documentary. You've got to go see it. It's one of the best. I love it. Paul Haggis. Oh, yeah, he's nothing. Just top producer, but throw him under the bus, which they did. This is just a wonderful, wonderful documentary by 8 people telling about each of their stories. And it's very, very specific. In Scientology, you can lie about them all you want. But you know what? There's too many of us out here that know the truth, worked with them, lived around them, saw them, knew the truth. And we're here to stand by them, every single one of them. So go ahead, keep screaming, because it's just like anything else. You are the people that look like knuckleheads. So keep screaming about how they're not telling the truth. Really? Well, then why are you screaming? If we really weren't telling the truth, I don't think you'd be screaming, would you? That's the bottom line. So please, if you listen to this, watch HBO on the 29th. And have a wonderful rest of the time. Bye.